A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant diplomatic development, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has announced that the United Kingdom is prepared to increase pressure on Russia in response to its ongoing war against Ukraine. This statement comes as Russian President Vladimir Putin prepares for a landmark meeting with United States President Donald Trump in Alaska, scheduled for Friday. This summit marks Putin's first known visit to a Western nation since the onset of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. The meeting is expected to focus on the 3.5-year conflict that has led to devastating consequences for Ukraine and its people. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who met with Prime Minister Starmer just a day prior, is notably absent from the discussions, raising concerns in Kyiv about the future of peace talks without Ukraine's direct involvement. The summit will commence at 19:30 Greenwich Mean Time, starting with a private one-on-one session between Trump and Putin, followed by discussions involving both delegations, a working lunch, and a joint news conference. Putin expressed his belief in the sincerity of the U.S. administration's efforts to end the fighting, stating that the meeting with Trump is a step towards exploring potential resolutions. Kremlin aide Yuri Ushakov indicated that while Ukraine will be a primary focus, the agenda will also cover broader security and economic issues, hinting at the potential for enhanced bilateral cooperation. The Russian delegation will include high-ranking officials such as Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and Defense Minister Andrei Belousov, indicating the seriousness with which Russia is approaching this summit. However, tensions remain high as Ukraine continues to engage in military operations, with reports of drone strikes targeting Russian positions, resulting in casualties and damage to infrastructure in Russia. During his meeting with Starmer, Zelensky emphasized the importance of security guarantees and the need for the UK to support Ukraine's defense capabilities, including investments in drone production. Starmer, in turn, reiterated Britain's unwavering support for Ukraine, stating that the UK will always stand with its ally in the face of aggression. The discussions also touched on the necessity of Ukraine being included in any future negotiations regarding its sovereignty and territorial integrity. The backdrop to this summit is characterized by a series of diplomatic maneuvers, including a virtual conference involving European leaders and Trump, where they pressed for a unified approach to address Russia's military actions. Trump has warned of severe consequences should Russia refuse to engage in meaningful dialogue aimed at achieving a ceasefire. Starmer echoed this sentiment, highlighting the importance of collaboration among Western nations to bring about a viable solution to the conflict. The absence of Zelensky from the Alaska summit has raised eyebrows in Kyiv, with concerns that any agreements made without Ukraine's participation could undermine its sovereignty. Trump attempted to assuage these concerns by suggesting that a follow-up meeting involving Zelensky could take place, emphasizing the need for inclusive discussions regarding Ukraine's future. As the world watches closely, the outcome of the Trump-Putin meeting could have far-reaching implications not only for Ukraine, but also for the geopolitical landscape in Europe and beyond. The Coalition of the Willing, co-chaired by Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron, and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, has issued a joint statement underscoring the principle that international borders must not be altered by force, and has called for strengthened sanctions against Russia if it fails to agree to a ceasefire. The stakes are high as leaders navigate this complex diplomatic terrain, with the hope that the Alaska summit could pave the way for a resolution to a conflict that has caused immense suffering and instability in the region. The upcoming discussions will undoubtedly test the resolve of both sides and the commitment of the international community to uphold the principles of sovereignty and peace. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.